car's lower down now. So, condenser showed up. I decided go ahead and start mounting it in there. Don't want to bore you with that little bit, because all I did was I welded two little tab, one tab there, one tab over there, and then one on the center at the bottom. Simple as that, holds it. I went ahead and made this line from the dryer to the condenser. Just, that's a 6, and then that one runs inside. Crimp both sides. I need to order a fitting. I need to order a straight number 6, but you have to put the lines on the compressor before you can put the compressor in the car, because it's very tight. I don't know if y'all know this. So Clayton came over. We got this welded, so I need to crimp that, which that's number 8. And then got this welded, which is factory lines adapted, because they make adapters that will work on this compressor. But the thing about it, I'll have to show you when the compressor's in the car, but it's like 3/8 of an inch from the frame rail. So that is why we have to put all this on before it goes in the car. So I need to crimp the lines onto this stuff, and then we can put it in the car, bolt it up, get all that stuff done. Then put the radiator in for the last time, because it's ready to go in. I just got to swap the transmission line fittings to the bottom, get the compressor in it, and move on to other things, because I got to order that fitting. Because I can't put the unit in the car until the car can be moved off the lift, because I don't feel like banging the doors and stuff on the lift. So I'm gonna get these lines crimped and get the compressor stuff back in the car. So like I said, I already did the number 6. These systems from Vintage Air, I guess majority of all the systems, they are number 8 from the compressor to the condenser. Then they're number 6 from the condenser to the dryer, from the dryer to the actual evaporator, and then from the evaporator back to the compressor is a number 10. And I just got this kit off of Amazon. It's a cheap hose, hydraulic AC hose, and actually hydraulic hose crimper. The ones you use are number 10, 8, and 6. Dies in. Bring this up. Make sure that's locked down. And we have perfectly made AC lines, I think. Hopefully they don't leak. Cause, I'll be honest, I'll be the first to tell you. I've had some leak before. Let's see if I can get this thing even into place. That belt can go there. Compressor's in, lines are in, got that line tight, that line, the 2 that go in there. I haven't, this is the 6 that I'm gonna need straight on the inside, but this isn't nothing to pull off. So now I gotta get my Tyranny, I think it's what this one's called. You got one, this is, yeah, Tyranny. This is a binary, which is just to engage your clutch. And this is a trinary, something like that. These go to your compressor, or well, one is a power from the Vintage Air unit. This one goes to your compressor. And this will act as, I'll ground one side and use it as a ground trigger for like a solid state relay to engage the fans. So whenever you turn on your AC, even if your engine isn't up to temperature, it'll turn on your fans and it'll start taking heat away from the condenser. So do that. I'm gonna get the belt and everything put back on it, on the compressor, and then we'll get the radiator put into it, and I guess start measuring out for hoses and stuff. So we're doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Okay. Belt's on. Condenser's in, mounted. I mean, that's pretty solid. Just put it in the radiator. Okay. Radiator's in. I made sure the what do you call this thing? The oil catch can. Man, I totally lost my mind. Oil catch can, overflow tank. I need to put that sweet little cover that goes on that on. So now I can measure for hoses, because we need hoses. We need one from there and one down there to there. And wire up the binary. Hey, my phone is down here. It's not a good place for that. Flashlight's on. So, got that. Okay, I can pull this back out so I can do the trinary switch. Trinary, I don't know. But I say we give this fan a little test drive. Let's see how it does. I need some wire connectors. So this is for the old fan. This should work for now. We're going for a test drive. That's all we're doing. Just a test drive. I'm gonna see how well these fans suck. I don't have any of those plugs. These should come on. Yeah, I came on. That scared me. Some serious fans. 2700 CFM. Maybe I can shove it in here. It's not a very good ground though. Guys, don't do this at home. Throwing that out there. That is moving some freaking air. Wow. Wind test. Here's paper. Look at that. Perfect. Now that's how you know it's moving some air. Look at that. Even over here. Radiator fans over here. It's from over here. Oh. That's pretty impressive. You gotta admit. Wait. Look at that. Oh, that wasn't that great. It's crazy. Drop test. I think we'll be all right. That sucker's moving some air. So, we need to wire that into the solid state relay. We need to mount the solid state relay. That's not on the list, but I did some stuff. Since we're going to do the shocks correctly, no more panhard bar, mark that off. Rear end third member, that's installed. Leaf springs, that's installed. Radiator and fan. So, we're looking good. This fan is like, fans, sorry. They're my two biggest fans. Yeah, I'm stoked on that. So, I'm actually kind of hungry. So I'm gonna go eat something. And then we'll come back out here and see what tear into after that. I don't know. We'll have to see. So I got most of the stuff up front figured out how I want, so I figured I'll jump back here to the shocks. So this is what I decided. I put this shock back in its factory spot. They had this bent up to make it go there. That bracket, I'm assuming it's broke before and somebody booger welded it, but it looks fine. So we're gonna run that. And my idea is I'm going to take some of this smaller C channel and just weld it right there. Put a hole in it, weld it back, put the angle in it, back down to there, and air shocks will be done. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're just trying to make the wheels have shocks, I guess. I don't know. But I've been walking around for a while. I'm looking for a tape measure. So when I find a tape measure, I'll get this cut, hole drilled, and we'll get underneath there and we'll get this welded up. Air shocks will be done. Mark something else off the list. But I need a tape measure. I mean, I guess I can go like this. No, that ain't gonna work. Stupid idea. So a few things have happened. One, we got shocks. Look, are you shocked that I got shocks? I thought it was funny. So, I welded that bracket up there. I left that booger bracket that they had right there. So come to find out, there is clamps that go around that, so I guess you can adjust the shock in and out. I don't know, I didn't discover that until yesterday or last night after I did this. So I was like, this is fine. We're just gonna leave it. So I gotta tidy up these cute little guys for the air shocks and stuff. That works. Now, as you can see, there's an exhaust back on here. So what we did here was we raised it like 3/4 of an inch here. This is still the same, because start thinking about it, I'd rather these hit first before my pan hits, because this hangs down. So this is like maybe 1/2 inch lower, so this is a lot tighter here. It's a whole lot tighter up to the car. So all I did was I cut it. As you can see, I booger welded that to that and there. And then same thing on this side back over here, this guy. So I don't know if you can see it, that guy. I mean, it's not pretty, but I promise you it's not falling off. And then everything else is on the top side. So, ooh, we can mark some stuff off the list. Let's go up there. I did one wheel bearing too. We gotta do the wheel bearing and ball joint on that side. So maybe we'll tackle that here in a second. But I'm gonna show you what I got going on up there. So up here, as you know, fans are in, 1, 2. I put in a solid state relay right here. If you do not know what a solid state relay is, these are the bee's knees. So you do one main power coming in. This one deal takes place of 4 relays. So instead of having 16 wires to run 4 relays right here, you got one power in, power out, main ground for the relay, then your ground trigger or your power trigger. Now, let me explain that to you. So, take this fancy little wire. Now, down here you got 4 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are grounds, these are power. So, from whatever, a switch, like for me it's gonna be the Holley Terminator. You take this, or any power, like from the Terminator, whatever. I'm gonna just steal it from this terminal, and you touch that first one, fan comes on. Second one, second fan comes on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 controls that. So you can either use a ground trigger or a positive trigger. I don't know if I can do this one-handed with the ground, because this is ground right here. Maybe not. There you go. See, by doing that, it's triggered off of ground. So I got that in there to control the fans. Got that. Got the transmission lines hooked up. So we're doing good. We're looking good. The next thing is I need a Sharpie. I'm gonna find a Sharpie somewhere. Here we go. So we can mark off air shocks. How cool is that? Got rid of that, obviously. Got that. So the exhaust isn't completely done out the back, but it's raised. So we can take the raise off and we still got exhaust to do. So we're looking good there. The list ain't looking bad. It's really not. Do we even have wheel bearings on here? No, we just got ball joints. So, well, that's it. So I guess what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna raise it up, do the ball joints and wheel bearings on that side. The only thing on the back, we're waiting on that. We're waiting on the axles, of course, for that, and then we can tidy up the back, put fluid in it, do all that stuff, and then tackle the shifter and stuff here in a little while. So first things first, let's get the front end wrapped up. Let's get these ball joints and these wheel bearings in it. I've been slacking on that one, and it don't take long to do it. So let's do that. That was an original ball joint. It still has the freaking rivets in it. I sucked it down like that so it's solid whenever I hit it to get the rivets out. See if I can get this undone now. Yeah. Alright, now we're gonna pack some wheel bearings. I'm sure 90% of y'all watching this know how to pack a bearing, but did I say 90%? We're gonna go, 90% of y'all know how to do this. Could be the 10% that don't. What I do, put a glob of grease, then you take it, you see that hard lip right there? Take it in the palm of your hand and you scrape it. Turn it a little bit, get a little more grease, scrape it. Keep doing that. Go all the way around, a little bit at a time. Just pack it in there. If you got little girly hands, it's probably gonna hurt your hands, but I don't got little girly hands. Just keep going all the way around, and eventually, like, I'll pack this spot so you can see what you'll look for. When you're scraping it in, see how it's pushing it out of the top right there? That's what you're looking for. So you work it your way around, you're packing the grease in the bearing. And you'll see it, it'll start working its way out all the way around. Then you, sometimes, obviously it's gonna get pushed out the middle, or pushed into the middle. Just keep working it all the way around. This little excess grease, go ahead and just smear it down in there. It'll be all right. But once you do that, hold the inner race, spin it a little bit. Make sure it's going around in there. It's messy, as you can see, but the smart thing to do would be to wear gloves. I've never in my life claimed to be smart, so there's that. I like to get a little bit of grease, get it in between. Does it do anything? Nope. But that's what I do. And that's it. And you don't want to do that you make sure you don't get grease on your rotor, because then you really need to clean your rotor. But anytime I'm messing with grease or anything around your rotor anyways, it's best to clean them after it's all installed, because you don't want that grease and stuff getting into your brake pad. Once that's on there, or you set that bearing in, tap that in there. Take a little bit of that grease, put it right there on that lip seal. Is it necessary? I don't know. That's what I do. Now get your outer lip seal or outer bearing. Obviously, you don't need near as much grease. That's probably more than enough. Same thing. Alright, let's set that one there. Okay, so now, gotta make sure your lock washer, is it even called a washer? I think these are called keepers. Make sure your keeper's clean. Make sure your nut's clean. So, once you do that, take your rotor, keeper on your slot, slide it on, take your nut. Now, here's the thing. I'm not telling you your grandpappy was wrong. I'm not telling you your Uncle Leroy, your Uncle Henry, your Uncle, I don't know, some of you, Uncle Lewis. I don't know. I'm not telling you they're wrong, but I'm just gonna tell you how I set my wheel bearings. And I'm probably gonna regret saying this, but I have never had a wheel bearing failure. So now that I said that, I'm gonna order spares to have with me for this road trip, just because I can. So, you don't, the way a lot of people say to do this, you take it, you find resistance, and you turn it just like that, and you're good, and you back it off a little bit, and you're good. Make sure there's no slack. That is not what I do. The way I was taught, and it's worked for me every time, you take it, tighten it up pretty tight, so you really can't turn it, and then you take it, find out how to use a crescent wrench, and you back it off. Then you find your resistance. Tight, back off just a little bit. There it is. Wheel bearing is set. So the point of that is you don't want to just have it loosely and then you tighten it up to that. You want to seat the bearings up into that race and then back it off from there so it's correct. You don't want to find out you did your wheel bearings wrong. Make sure you no play. Beautiful. It's perfect. I love it. So now, I need a cotter pin. Well, actually, I got a whole box of them right here. I wonder if one of these work. This long enough? Oh, that's too small. Wait, I got the one that came out of it. Where'd it go? There it is. Take a cotter pin. Of course, there's 100 ways to set a cotter pin, just like there's 100 ways to set a wheel bearing. Everybody has their own way of doing it. That's my way of doing it, as well as using pliers and a crescent wrench as a hammer. So once you've done that, take a little bit of this. A little of that. Clean the face of your rotors. And you take your brakes. Set those into place. Use the bolts. Find the bolts. Those are done. So brakes, ball joints. Wait, I didn't change the brake pads because I thought I had some, but I didn't. So the old ones went back on, which they were still plenty good. New wheel bearings on the front. Ball joints done. So you know what that means. We get to come right here. Mark this off the list. And just cause oh my dear Lanta, that's even worse. Wheel bearing, man, this is really hard to write. Just to mark it off the list. So we are looking good. I'm happy with that. So, drop the lid to the Sharpie. So we're looking good. Like I said, I need to order some pipe to do the exhaust in the back, waiting on axles. That's here, and I need to start figuring out what I'm gonna do for radiator hoses and get that situated so I can get some hoses on this thing. Gotta have the hose is on here, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we are getting close, because I don't want to start on the air condition inside the car until I can move it off the lift so I don't bang against the door. So more than likely the air conditioning unit on the inside is going to be the last thing we do. So we're looking good. So tomorrow we're going to start figuring out what we can do for hoses, and we're going to start on that shifter, get that stuff addressed, and maybe look into some wiring a little bit. But there you go. That's all I got for now, because it's late and I'm hungry and I've been at it all day. So till next time.